Good evening, everybody. I'd like to call to order for the meeting of the Board of Education, October 15th, 2025, at 6:30 p.m. in the boardroom of the Administration Building at 70 Conover Road, Colts Neck, New Jersey. If I can please have a roll call, Mr. Marasco.
Yes, you may. Mrs. Camera.
Here.
Mrs. Horowitz.
Here.
Mr. Arrico. Here. Mrs. Ramirez.
Here.
Mr. Rignetta.
Here.
Mr. Scales. Not present. Mr. Scarpa.
Here.
Mrs. Volpe.
Here.
And Mr. Walsh.
Here.
You have a quorum.
Great, thank you. Pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, this meeting has been duly advertised in the Asbury Park Press in a schedule of meetings dated January 16th, 2025, and March 4th, 2025, notice of which has been filed with the Deputy Clerk for Colts Neck Township, and the requirements of posting of notices have been met. If we can now rise for the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, great. At this time, can I get somebody to volunteer for our mission statement? All right, Mrs. Camera, thank you.
The mission of Colts Neck Township Schools is to empower and inspire students to be confident, creative, self-sufficient learners who maximize their strengths and talents and contribute as responsible participants in their ever-expanding world.
Okay, great. Thank you, Mrs. Camera. Okay, we are going to move right into the approval of our minutes. We have quite a few there. There are 6 of them. I don't know, most of you hopefully had a chance to read through. At this time, if anybody has any comments or want to add anything to those minutes, you can do so at this time. Okay. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes?
Motion. Second.
Okay, roll call, please.
The minutes, Mrs. Camera.
Yes.
Mrs. Horowitz.
Yes.
Mr. Arrico.
Yes.
Mrs. Ramirez.
Yes to the August 27th meetings and the September 17th meetings, but I have to abstain from the September 3rd meetings.
September 3rd, thank you. Mr. Rignetta.
Yes.
Mr. Scarpa.
Yes.
Mrs. Volpe.
Yes, sorry, yes.
Mr. Walsh.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, great. We are moving right into our public hearing this evening. Be it resolved that the Colts Neck Township Board of Education opens the public hearing on the 3-year contract of the superintendent of our schools for the term dated July 1st, 2025 through June 30th, 2028. Does anybody have any comments on our superintendent's public hearing on her, yes? Yeah, sure. Would you like to take the microphone? When you get there, press the button down when you see the green light. Okay. Yeah. Just state your name and address for the record.
Anna Battaglia, 19 Magnolia Drive.
Great.
Okay, so I just had a question regarding the superintendent's report. Under the superintendent's report, it states that there were no instances of bullying or harassment for a period in the beginning of October.
Okay, let me just ask you, at this time, this is just comments on her contract that the board
Okay.
is renewing.
Sorry.
Your comment is going to be well received during the public comment, which will be right after, hold on a minute, right after, where is it here? Communications. Can we move? Oh, it's going to be right after the information item. So it'll be like maybe 10 minutes.
Okay, no
So if you could have a seat and then come right back up, okay?
Thank
I'll
you.
take you first. All right. All right, so any other comments or questions regarding Dr. Garabay's renewal of a 3-year contract here?
Well, I do. I want to thank Dr. Garabay for your hard work to this district and commitment to our students and parents and having our kids have the best education in our district. And I'm looking forward to another 3 years of hard work.
I want to second that as well. We spent a lot of time going through this contract opportunity, and thank you for your participation, your patience with it. It's critically important, and it's a very, very special role for this, for our jurisdiction. So we thank you for your time allotted for it. But it was a pleasure going through this opportunity to appreciate what you do and your team does on a daily basis. And there's so much value add to you, what you bring to the program. So we look forward to supporting you for the next few years. Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. Anybody else want to add something? No? Okay, I just wanted to add a comment as well. I just want to also thank you for all your hard work. I know, dealing with me sometimes is very difficult, and I do appreciate you always, educating me on things that I'm unaware of. And setting me straight in some things. And so I do appreciate that, and all the hours that you put in meeting with me and discussing things to help us be the best district we can be. And I have full confidence that you are going to continue to lead this district and raising the bar here. So I'm looking forward to 3 years with you as well. So thank you. All right. So now what? Okay, all right, so we're done with that. We're closing public comment at this time. We're going to close the hearing as well. And then, let me see, we're going to do our presentation with Mrs. Reynolds this evening. So we'd like to welcome her, and, I'm sorry. Oh, Mrs. Reynolds, how long will your presentation be this evening?
I have it down to about 10, 15 minutes. It just depends if people ask questions. So it's totally up to you.
Okay, okay, all right, we'll skip to public comment first, and then we'll call you up. Is that okay? All right, great. So, young lady, we're going to open the public comment session now, so this is the time you could get up and make your comments, okay?
Do I have to state my name again?
Yes.
Okay, Anna Battaglia, 19 Magnolia Drive. So my question was about the superintendent's report. It says under the superintendent's report, it states there were no instances of bullying or harassment in the beginning of October. I was just wondering how many incidents there were total since September.
I don't believe we had, oh, yes, I'll let her answer that. I don't believe we had any, but
Okay.
it's appropriate for her to answer, so.
Sure. So we do a report, every annual, but Mrs. Volpe, our board president, is correct. Since September, we haven't had any. Have been deemed, the actions have been deemed as falling into the category of harassment, intimidation, or bullying.
Okay. Thank you so
You're
much.
welcome.
Thank you for your comment. Anybody else like to get up and have a question or comment for the board? Okay, seeing there's none, we're going to close public comment, and we will go right into Mrs. Reynolds' presentation. Oh. All right. We'll just take a brief 2 seconds for her to get ready.
We do. Here. Can you see her? There we go. Okay, I always have a backup. All right, everyone. Hello. All right, thank you. Good evening, everyone. My name is Erica Reynolds. I'm the Director of Curriculum and Instruction, and today's presentation will be our NJSLA results from our spring administration. After tonight's presentation, this presentation will also be located on our website as part of our CUSAC requirements. So when we're talking about the NJSLA in the spring of 2025, we had our 3rd through 8th graders were assessed, and they are assessed on our student learning assessment and really taking a look at how our students are doing on our curriculum and taking a look at our New Jersey State Learning Standards. And then we use these results to help drive our instruction and to help us make sure that we're making good curriculum decisions. It's really exciting to announce that we had some students that had perfect scores this year on this assessment, which is really difficult to do. And we will be celebrating these students on November 19th. We actually had 11 students that we'll be inviting to attend that meeting, and 1 student received a perfect score in both ELA and math, which is just phenomenal. So to be in those minds is really great. So that's really something to celebrate. And then before I begin, we had 2 goals that we set out based on our 2024 presentation. And every year we're really reflective in looking at how we can get better as a school district and what can we do to move forward. And so one of our goals for last year, which we really did meet, was to have an increased participation rate in the NJSLA. And just taking a look at this chart, just specifically in the middle school, we really improved our participation rates, and it's amazing, and you're going to be able to see those reflections in our scores when I get to that in a second. But it's really exciting to see how many students really want to take this seriously and help us with that. And our second goal was to really focus on the middle school for English language arts and for math, just to really see that percentage of students at that meeting or exceeding range, and we were able to do that. And just take a look at that 3-year achievement from 2023, 2024 to 2025. Our students, it's just so many great things to be celebrated, and all of the hard work that we are doing. So when we're talking about the performance levels, we're talking about 5 different levels. And where we want our students to fall is level 4 and 5, which is meeting grade level expectations and exceeding grade level expectations. So we're going to start this evening with English language arts, okay, and our results for that. So here are our 5 levels. They range in about a 50-point range to go from level 3 to 4, level 4 to 5. These were the same cut scores that the state has had in previous years. So looking at an overall, every student that took the English language arts test in grades 3 through 8, our district is that purple color, and then the state level, so everybody that took it in the state of New Jersey is that yellow. And just take a look at that we always were above the state here, and that's something to really be celebrated and really, really nice to see on this chart. And then here are just some highlights and some reflections. So as you know, we look at these results and we analyze them and we see what can we do better and what can be celebrated. So there was significant growth in the upper grades. Both 6th grade and 8th grade showed notable increases in scores, with 6th grade up by 10 percentage points and 8th grade up by a substantial 15 percentage points. Okay, that's pretty amazing. Positive cohort performance, which is all existing cohort groups, demonstrated an increase in scores. That means kids that are staying
in their cohort with their peers and as they're moving along. So if they're going from 3rd grade to 4th grade to 5th grade together as they go up. The performance has remained consistently strong with 76 to 78% of students meeting or exceeding, so that's that level 4 or 5. Okay, expectations for 3 consecutive years, demonstrating both stability and endurance in academic achievement. And then if you're taking a look at our reflections, some things that we want to continue to look at and do moving forward, specifically in language arts, are non-cohort students. So those are students that haven't been together. There are students that did not show students who did not show an increase. Okay, so we had students who joined the district, and specifically in 4th grade and 7th grade, that we can look at and target to ensure that these students meet prior grade level expectations and bring any of their gaps determined through the MAP assessment. Specifically in grades 3 through 8, we had 26 new students for us that were transient, that came in and out throughout the school year. That didn't start with us. So teachers in grades 3 and 4 right now are working specifically with the curriculum and assessment practices, particularly in MAP, which we just finished taking, results to align instruction with the NJSLA standards and ensure cohesive progression across all grade levels. Also, the district has adopted our new writing program, Being a Writer, and that is helping to actively address and reverse the decrease in scores over the past 3 years. Particularly right now, we looked at some of the strands that we did really well in grades 3 and 4, and some of the things that we need to work on. And we have intentional planning right now with our teachers and with our school to look at how we teach some of those areas. And the good news is we're already putting things in place, and we are already ready to get going with them, and we're already ready to go. So we hope to see an increase in those scores as we move forward for next year. So this report is kind of hard to see on here, so I apologize, but when you're looking at the scores, this is the same grade level, okay, in ELA with different students, and this is showing you grades 3 all the way up to grade 8, and then that last graph is all of the grades. If you're looking, it's the last dark purple bar that was our most recent score, okay. This is our proficiency by program. So these are one of the required, you'll see these that we have to put on as part of our state requirements for this presentation. So we have our students that are ELL, our FR lunch is free and reduced lunch population. We have section 504, we have our special ed population, and then we have our general ed population here as well. These are our proficiency program by our military students. Here's our proficiency by race. Okay. And then I'm going to move on to mathematics. All right. So here again, these are our cut scores, okay, for our levels 4 and 5. Again, the same kind of 50-point range. So here's our meeting exceeding in math in grades 3 through 8. The blue is our district, and the yellow is our state. Look at that. Isn't that fun? Isn't that so pretty? Look at that. We could keep that up there all day. So some highlights, right? So many things to be celebrated here. So exceptional 8th grade growth. Wow, so proud of our 8th graders from last year. 8th grade shown a remarkable 4-year continual jump in performance, rising from 18% to 52% proficiency, including a strong 9% increase in NJSLA performance in May of 2025. Again, remember, this was one of the goals that we had, so we really met this. Above grade level math excellence, so both algebra and geometry courses continue to perform at a perfect 100% proficiency, which means that students that we are identifying for our programs for enrichment are really showing here as they move up and as they leave our elementary school and go into our middle school. So our matrix that we have in Linkit and all of those things that we have in place, we can see here that they are definitely working. We can always obviously get better at them. But notable single year increase in 6th grade. That was a 9-point increase. And 7th grade, there was a 2-point increase. And they showed gains. Consistently, elementary and middle school gains, all students in grades 3 through 8 had shown a steady and consistent improvement, contributing to a 10% overall increase in proficiency over the last 4 years. And again, that strong cohort performance, those are the students that are staying together. Existing cohort data in grades 3 through 5 continue its positive upward trend. One thing that we also brought into the middle school was a gentleman named Eric Milu, who's a math guru, who brought in the building thinking classrooms where we have the whiteboards around the room, and it's really challenging students to think and get them to really think about how to solve the problem without just giving the answer. And that, my friends, is showing you how that is definitely working. And so in reflection, our instructional shifts through this building thinking classroom, teachers are implementing these structures that promote collaboration, courtesy, and deep thinking. Students work in small groups on rich curricular tasks and strengthen conceptual understanding and problem-solving skills. And we focused on also new student support. So the decrease in those non-cohort data kids, so those students that weren't always all together, indicates a critical need to evaluate and address the skill level of new students entering our district and looking at developing some intervention strategies for them to ensure that our new students that are coming in are meeting the same grade level expectations as the students that have been here. And we want to focus on targeting those assessments like MAP to close any of those demonstrated skill gaps. It's also important to note that when we looked at our scores on how our students when they took the MAP test, so we looked at our scores, this is pretty much the same. We knew how our students were going to perform, and this is a great reflection. It's pretty much the same overall of how our students were predicted to take this assessment and have results. It's pretty much the same. So our math achievement growth rate here, this is the same grade of different students. You could see this from grades, only on this math slide is going to be from grades 3 through 7. And you could see how they are progressing through as the same grade but with different students. This is that cohort achievement growth, which shows the meeting and exceeding. So the light blue is 23-24 school year. The dark blue is the 24-25 school year. And you could see how the cohort groups are moving together compared to the non-cohort groups. And you could see here that the cohort groups are definitely stronger as they move through. So our 8th grade math data. So some of our students in 8th grade last year, we have to remember that they participated in algebra or the geometry assessment, right? So anyone else that wasn't in those classes took the pre-algebra. So our grade 8 math outcomes are not a representative of the entire 8th grade. We want to remember that we do have students that are taking some 9th grade courses and high school courses. So our pre-algebra, we had 54 students that participated in the assessment. Algebra, we had 38, and geometry, we had 10. In algebra and geometry, all of the students took that assessment, which was different from previous years. And then here you could see our math achievement. Look at that. That's also such a pretty slide. I love it. 100, 100, 100. So here's our grades 8 algebra and geometry, again, moving as a cohort and showing how our students are doing there. Our math proficiency by program, our percentage of meeting and exceeding, those are our students that are scoring a 4 or a 5 as we go through. Our proficiency by program by military students, our proficiency by race and math. And here we're going to go on to science. So our science, we take the assessment in grades 5 and grade 8 only. Okay, the ranges are different. You saw that when we were talking about ELA and math, they had the ranges all the way up to 850. They go down to 300. Our students this year will take the science test with the old program, PAN, that was still there, and our students for NJSLA this year will be taking the adaptive assessment, and that will be in another program called Cambion. So this assessment, we probably will be able to compare the science scores from this year, last year, to this year. The new NJSLA adaptive scores, I'm not sure if we're going to be able to do a deep dive comparison. But we'll see what happens. So here in science, as we learn more information, I'll be able to share that with you. So looking at our grade 5 and our grade 8, and then our grades all over, how we scored there. Yep. And then our grade 5 here, and compared to the district and then to the state. I just want you to take a look. I know that the scores do look low, but look how low they are at the state level. In 8th grade, there was 19%. Turn my microphone. I don't know what's on this assessment that makes it so difficult. But look how low the state scores are, and we're above that. Not by much, no. And comparatively, when you're looking around to our, surrounding districts, we look much, we get calls on what we're doing to make our science scores as high as they are, believe it or not. So, yeah, compared to other districts, yes. So here's our proficiency by race, our proficiency by program, our military students. Again, I have to group them all kind of together because there's not enough of them to single them out. And the next part of this presentation, so that would be the NJSLA part. The next part of the presentation will be on our dynamic learning map assessment, and it'll be on our WIDA access assessments. So in other districts, this may be a separate presentation because we have such a smaller population here. We do combine all of this together as part of a state mandated presentation. And it's kind of easier because it's all in one, and this will all be posted on the website for you. So students that don't take the NJSLA, there's a test for them called the DLM. So this is called the Dynamic Learning Maps Assessment, and New Jersey uses this year-end model to help assess students in English language arts, math, and science. So 1.7% of our total population took the Dynamic Learning Map in lieu of the NJSLA. Okay, so the number of students for reporting is a minimum of 10 as suppression rules applied to student data to protect the student confidentiality. So again, we grouped all of these students together. So also the scores are different. So we have emerging, approaching the target, at target, and advanced. Okay, so again, we want our students to be at that at target and advanced level. Scores in grades 3 through 8 did include the out-of-district students, okay, as well as students who participate in a self-contained special education classroom. So we had 11 students participated in this, and here are our DLM scores for English language arts, our DLM scores for math, and our science. And then the next part of our presentation is the access for ELLs. So, yes. Yes. So the access for ELLs, so these are our students that are multilingual learners, so they may speak another language. So to the access assessment, there's 2 assessments here. So the access is assessing comprehension and communication in English state-to-state secure mandated assessment. And the WIDA is the World Class Instructional Design and Assessment Consortium that dedicated to the design and implementation of high standards for our English language learners. Our multilingual learners used to be called ESL students or ELL students. We have an ESL or ELL teacher, and that, Mrs. Lindano, teaches our ML students. So they are now referred to as our multilingual learners. And so they get a service that's designed to improve English reading and writing, speaking and listening. And an ESL teacher does not have to speak another language, ours does. So here are the levels up from levels 1 through 6 on the WIDA assessment. And this is assessing students on their English, their English ability. So, and how they're able to speak in this English language. Okay, so in 2025, our access results, this was for students in grades 1 through 8. Okay, these results are based on 13 students who tested in the 2025 of the spring. And, yep, and that was it. We did it fast this year. Yes. Does anyone have have any questions, or Dr. Garibay?
Yes, before we take questions, I asked Mrs. Volpe if I could make a couple statements. There's a couple things that, as we look at data, one of the things that we make data-driven decisions. So this is a very topical, as we say every year, it's a very topical visual look at what's happening. When we get our results, we also receive something called evidence statements. In those evidence statements, as you know, that actually informs us as to where on each assessment, what specific content area within the New Jersey Student Learning Standards our students didn't perform well on. And so that's where you start to dig in and say to yourselves, what did the students not absorb? What weren't they able to translate into the assessment? Did we not spend as much time on that? We're looking at our program, so on and so forth down the line. So there are a lot of questions that come from just the initial results that we get in August, but then when we start to get all the reporting that comes in with this, it also aligns to it. We also spend the time looking at how our the benchmark assessments that we do as we progress monitor, our MAP assessments, and we look at, okay, what was the predictability of how students were doing? Because we want to make sure we're using valid assessments as we're progress monitoring our students, that it's not a test that says they do really well on a test and then they don't do well when it translates to NJSLA. So there's a lot of moving parts that go on, and I thank Dr. Reynolds for condensing this information, because as many of you know, these are the types of presentations that can go on for a long time, because there's a lot of depth to the information. One thing we also always will say too is, when you're looking at percentages and reporting, obviously we're so grateful for the work of the students and the staff members in middle school, and we look at it and we say that was a focus. We really want to move that, because we looked at where we were for our 8th graders who were taking the 8th grade assessment. We wanted to move that forward, and we're doing it. And then we get something for the past 2 years. We look at 3rd and 4th grade and we say, what's happening there? Because now we're looking at that again. When we're looking at our new writing program, we have a new implementation of a reading program, and we're really digging in there as well. That goes beyond just the tested grade levels. We also start to look at how things are being implemented and carrying through in 2nd grade and 1st grade and up through, because it's not just 3rd grade, everybody drops and tests, right? It's something that you learn and progress and carry with you through the grade levels. So when things like that happen, we are looking at it, because it's significant, it matters, it's the most public forward-facing data that a school district has, and so we want to make sure that we are, being intentional with our decision making of what we're doing, and not, we want to obviously respond to the data that we receive from our testing. We don't want to be reactive to the testing data. Right. And because there's always the question that we ask a million times, to what do we attribute these results? And you have to look at it through a million different lenses to be able to move forward with it and track the progress that you're making to see the differences that you want. And most importantly, I always make sure I include in every statement, behind every one of those numbers is a child with a story, who has a different learning style, the ones who are thriving, every single one of them. And it's just as important to recognize the individual accomplishments, because what we also see in those proficiency levels, as you're looking at moving in cohorts, is growth that may not represent itself in terms of exceeding or meeting, but maybe they went from partial to approaching, or something like that. And that's worth celebrating as well. And those are the internal conversations that we have equally as much so. So I just thank you for letting me make that concluding statement. Thank you. Absolutely.
Yeah, again, it's one piece of data, right?
Anybody else have any questions or comments from Mrs. Reynolds and the presentation?
Can you go back to the ELA slide for 3 to 8, the achievement and growth, please?
Which one, Mrs. Camera?
That one.
This one?
Perfect.
Okay.
So I just want to make sure I'm reading this right. So in last year is when, right, the 24-25 school year is when we started the Being a Reader program.
Yes, last year was being a reader. This year is being a writer.
Okay, so we had 1 year of the new program, and
Right.
for grades 3, 4, and 5.
Uh-huh. And so those students
all
in grade 3 had a new
dropped, right?
So those students in grade 3 had a new program in grade 2, and then the teachers in grade 3 had a new program, because we only had it in K through 2. So that their teachers were teaching a new program in grade 2, and then when they went to grade 3, those teachers never taught that program. So it was technically 2 years of a new program, the way we transitioned it into the district.
So wait, they had being a reader in second grade.
They had being a reader in
They
second grade.
continued being a reader in
They
third
did,
grade.
but third grade
For the
teachers never taught it
teachers-
before.
For the teachers, it was their
Yep.
first year teaching that
Yep.
program.
Yep.
Okay, and fourth grade didn't have being a reader
No.
last year?
No.
So they were still using?
No, fourth grade had being a reader, yes. It was
Okay.
third, fourth, and fifth grades'
what I
first
thought.
year of being a reader.
Okay, and that's when we saw the scores all significantly decline in third, fourth, and fifth. Right, I'm reading it correctly, right? After they had
Yes.
their 1 year,
Mhm.
except for
In
third
third
grade,
and
they
four-
had 2
third and
years of being a
fourth.
reader. The other students had 1 year of being a reader.
Yes. Yes. We're brand new.
It was the teacher's first year.
Yes, last year was
Last year, third, fourth, and fifth, it was the first year of being a reader
correct.
Teachers.
for the
Or
teachers.
Right.
And for anyone, I guess, right? For the students,
Right,
yeah.
okay, no, I thought, yes, okay, no, I definitely understand that. And it was just, for second grade, for third graders, it was their second year of this program.
Program, but their
the
teacher.
teacher's
Yep.
first year of teaching it.
Yep.
Okay, so what was the teacher feedback with this program? Because these are pretty significant drops, mostly in third grade, which is the most shocking, because these students, it was their second year of this program. I don't mind.
So one of the things we look at as a team when we're looking at and talking with our teachers, the feedback is it's a very comprehensive program in replacing, making meanings, and updated. So the program is not in itself. This, in working again at this one piece of data, we also had several information points of students, data points on students throughout the year that had reliable predictability of student performance. So when we're looking at this and we're getting the results, the predictability we had for language arts through our intervention with almost about 50% of the students in those grade levels receiving some type of intervention or additional supports is something that we were also working through as well as we prepared for the NJSLA. So.
But to answer your question, Mrs. Kemra, our teachers are really liking it. As you know, it is kind of difficult to teach a program the first year. It's like that pacing and figuring that all out. What they are seeing right now is a really great connection, and I'm excited to get into the classrooms and see this even more during official observation time, is seeing the connection between the Being a Reader program and our Being a Writer program and how it is just cross-curricular in nature with that. And so they're really excited to see how that is going on, and it's been able to have the same content, same topic standards taught throughout the day.
Yes, that makes sense.
Yeah. And so, looking at grade 3, reading literature, we have to, go back and look at. That's one of the specific strands on our evidence statement that we've already put things into place on. Writing expression, writing knowledge. And that's, one of the reasons we have a new, looking at this new writing program. And literary analysis. And in grade 4 particularly, we looked at one of the weaknesses that we had was informational text. So things are already in place. Intentional planning, we're looking at how to teach certain subjects. We're meeting with the teachers to go over these different standards. We've looked in our curriculum to see where these standards are being taught and how we maybe can teach it differently, specifically using our instructional coaches. So we are on it, and we are looking forward to. Yes.
You're actually teaching the kids how to write
Yes.
off the Chromebook.
Yes. Yes. There's a notebook, and that you will be able. The teachers are sending those home to show the parents what students are doing at the end of the units. Yep.
If I may just add to that
Yeah.
too, and again, these are things that, come about in language. One of the things that Dr. Reynolds just shared with me today that I found fascinating is that as the students are progressing, spelling is something and grammar is something that we're working on, right, and
that program
strengthening.
has it.
As a matter of fact, within the program, and I know Ms. Cameron's familiar with the program, it actually encourages, and we do turn the spelling feature off on the
Yes.
computers because they have to be able
Yeah,
to
it says it
communicate
in
in
the
that
teacher's
way.
manual.
So as they're doing
off.
that, it is something as they're moving forward with it, it's something that we're moving on so that they develop that skill and they can self-correct as they're going through, as they're going. So it is
Yeah,
part
you
of that process. I am
Yeah.
anticipating wholeheartedly, I believe in our teachers and I believe in our students who want to absorb all that great information that's coming their way. And just, as I said, responding to the data that's in front of us right now.
Can I piggyback on Phyllis's comments? So if I'm understanding this then correctly, are we suggesting then that those lower scores then are directly related to that new program being implemented?
I mean, it could be definitely is a factor. I think there's probably many factors that we're looking at. But if you're looking at our map results from last year, it was predicted that our students would score this way. So we but we're working on it.
Also, is it fair to say that these lower grades are the ones that, as we know, were most impacted by the learning loss that happened during COVID when our schools were closed and
You are
masked
correct.
and kept from everything. So we know that group specifically was most impacted by our little guys.
So these were our babies that were taught phonics and phonemic awareness with teachers with masks on.
So that kind of makes sense to me, at least. That's
Oh, 100%.
Okay.
As someone who has a fourth grader, yes.
Yes, as a parent, yes.
To also add to that too, another component of that is we always look at that growth. So when they start the third grade is the first year that they take, their official assessment, although they're
Yes,
assessed
and that's
throughout.
stamina. There's a lot of stamina
So
that
one
we
of
have
the
to teach
things
test
that we look
taking.
at to be able to compare is that when you're looking at that growth, to see students in the cohorts, that go through, and you want to see that growth over time so that by fifth grade, when they're leaving elementary, of course you want them to set the tone and start in third grade and hit strong, but the process that they go through in learning and being responsive to what they see in front of them in the data and adjusting for each cohort of students, you are seeing that growth, and now we're also seeing it transferring up into the middle school as well. They're taking it with them. And if you look at it as a moment in time, a snapshot in time, what we want to see is the growth and performance over time.
Right.
And that's what we're seeing here through this lens when you look at data through that lens as well.
Okay, well, thank you very much. This will be on the website if you would like to look at it further. Thank you.
Great. Thank you for your time. Okay, moving on, we have no communications this evening. I know our student liaisons are here, their first appearance for this year, so you're going to be coming up right after my president's report. At this time, I want to basically talk a little bit off the cuff on my president's report. Just to put out some dates, I will be attending the tour of Naval Weapons Station Earl on the 28th. With Mrs. Ramirez, our liaisons, Mrs. Ramirez and Mr. Scarpa. I'm very much looking forward to coming and exploring their military base. So thank you so much for having us. Secondly, Mrs. Horowitz and Dr. Garibay put out the first invitation to the Parent Academy, and that will be on October 27th between 10 and 11, and then we have also a night meeting from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. So I'd like to just tell the public that, I want to make myself available in a more intimate setting. I appreciate Mrs. Horowitz leading as our liaison to that group, and Dr. Garibay for putting those extensive hours in to make sure that everybody is heard. So I want to personally invite any parent who doesn't normally come to our board meetings to come meet me on a more intimate level and speak to Mrs. Horowitz, bring up your concerns. I know we're going to have a little bit structured meeting this time as versus last year we kind of ran over time and some people didn't get to speak and so on and so forth. So I hope to see a lot more faces this year to voice your opinions. Thirdly, I just want to cover some issues. We had a complete water supply failure at, I shouldn't even be laughing because it's a horrible situation, but at the elementary school, which I believe was initiated by the storm and a power outage, something on those lines that was basically told to me, and we lost all our sewer and water supply. So with that being said, we almost had to face a school closure for today, but Dr. Garibay immediately contacted me yesterday, and I got on the phone immediately with Mr. Walsh, our Buildings and Grounds Board Chair, to figure out what we were going to do and what decisions were going to be made. It obviously was very costly, unfortunately, and I just want to extend a thank you to Dr. Garibay and Mr. Marasco for acting so quickly, Mr. Moretta for overseeing the project. If some of you noticed with the kids in that school, they had a big truck, a water supply truck that was there so that the bathrooms and running water could be utilized to our students. Like I said, unfortunately, was a costly project, but we certainly didn't want our kids to not be able to attend school. And by law, most of you know that we have to have running water in all our buildings, obviously. So you'll take a note on later on the financial agenda. You'll see that we'll be approving funding to make sure we cover that cost. So unfortunately, and you know, okay, yeah, hopefully we will get, you know, some reimbursement back from that claim. So please keep us posted, you know, what the turnout is on that. Lastly, I want to address this week another proposal of affordable housing came out to our district. So I'm very disheartened what's going on in this state with forcing affordable housing on communities across New Jersey. I'm actually disgusted with it, to be honest with you. But Mr. Walsh had come to me several times regarding the lawsuit that's been out there. And he made the initiative, you know, discussing with me to contact the mayor of Montvale, Mr. Gassely, I believe it is. And I reached out to him a few days ago. I'm still waiting on a return call. He is leading the lawsuit for the 27 districts on, you know, against affordable housing. So hopefully I will meet with him. I invited him to come speak at our meetings to learn more about the lawsuit and what's been brought about thus far. I know Kevin, along with most of, I think everybody here, is against what's happening. But Kevin has been working diligently with Mr. Scales as well, and they both agree that, you know, have an opportunity to join a lawsuit would be in our best interest. So I have a prepared statement. I'd like to read it at this time. All right. The Colts Neck Board of Education expresses its strong support for the lawsuit challenging New Jersey's new affordable housing law. This complaint, brought by a coalition of municipalities, seeks long overdue judicial review of legislation that imposes perpetual, formula-driven housing mandates on every municipality beginning with the 2025-26 housing cycle. To be clear, this is not an opposition to affordable housing. It is a defense of governance, fiscal responsibility, and local planning integrity. We, the Colts Neck Board of Education, oppose the legislation as it is an overreaching statute that disregards the separation of powers and undermines local control. The lawsuit rightly raises serious fiscal and policy concerns, including the new law, misstates and expands the Mount Laurel doctrine beyond what the courts have ever required, creates an administrative apparatus within the judiciary that appears to violate the separation of powers, imposes permanent unfunded mandates on municipalities without regard for fiscal realities or planning capacity, and most importantly, fails to consider the impact of the law on already overburdened school districts. Municipalities should not be coerced into assuming limitless housing obligations without clear legal authority or adequate state funding. That, in turn, imposes burdens on the school district. The legislature has enacted a law that goes well beyond judicial precedent and imposes burdens that local governments and Board of Education cannot sustain. Failing to act now sends a troubling message that local governments will accept whatever the state dictates, regardless of reasonable limits or the cost to taxpayers. Every municipality that remains silent effectively consents to the erosion of home rule and the steady transfer of local authority to Trenton. If municipalities and school districts do not defend their fiscal interest, no one else will. The state has chosen to impose indefinite mandates on local governments. The only responsible course is to challenge those mandates in court. The Township of Colts Neck has not only chosen to take no action to impose these mandates, but it has also approved the Levana operation, which will impact all of our 3 campuses along with the Colts Neck High School. By declining to join this litigation, our township has chosen to accept sweeping, untested mandates without question and has disregarded the best interests of the citizens of Colts Neck. The decision leaves taxpayers unprotected and allows the state to act without accountability. Silence in the face of such an overreach serves neither our residents nor the true cause of affordable housing. It is not only appropriate but imperative that local officials stand together to ensure that housing policy in New Jersey remains constitutional, balanced, and sustainable. As the Township of Colts Neck has failed to act to challenge the new law, I am asking the Board of Education to authorize its legal counsel to take all necessary and appropriate action on behalf of the board to join the litigation initiated by the Borough of Montvale and joining by a growing number of public bodies to contest this unfounded mandate. So at this time, I'm just going to ask, I'm going to continue consulting our legal counsel on this matter. I just want to make sure that everybody on this board is aware of my intentions, and I hope I have support from all of you to move forward. If nobody stands firm on this, our town is going to be ruined. It's in peril already with what's being forced upon us. This district is not going to sustain the amount of residents with children flooding this town. It's just not going to happen, and we have to do something about it. The town has failed us numerous times. They said recently not another shovel is going to be in the ground, yet we have another proposed building going up possibly on 537. It's disgusting. We need to stand up and voice our opinion. I'm sick and tired of people lying down and not making their voices heard. That's why we're in the position we're in. So I'm asking the board to support my decision in continuing having the mayor of Montvale come to our meeting, let us know a little bit more of what is, what we need to do to join the lawsuit and what's going on with that. So at this time, I'd like to take, I don't know if you take a vote at this time. I just want to make sure that, I have everybody's, a consent that I have, the authority to use some legal funds, and everybody knows I'm very frugal with our attorneys, and I will not use excessive funding unless otherwise noted, okay?
Angelique,
Yes.
do we know if there's any other school districts? Because everything else
There is
aside,
not, there is not one school district. I like to take the
it's
initiative.
mostly other towns.
It's basically municipalities. I spoke with the attorney. She first had told me that we couldn't join because the municipality of Colts Neck, our township committee, has basically silenced us on this because they were the ones that were supposed to take the initiative. But like I said, this is all preliminary. I'm going to just continue being educated on what our rights are. I certainly would like to be the first district to enter in this unfair affordable housing practice. And I appreciate Mr. Walsh. I got to give credit to him because he's been the one that's been pushing me to do it. I drug my feet a little bit because
Appreciation too, thanks to Jason, really back from Ryan and Rob, particularly Rob.
yes, I certainly want to give them credit as well. Everybody, Mr. Scarpa, everybody here, I believe, has voiced our disdain of what's going on in our town in regards to this. So I don't want to cut anybody short. Mrs. Camera, everybody knows that, this is a small school district. I don't know how we're physically going to, sustain this. Like I said, I want to explore every avenue possible to protect our town because it's being destroyed right in front of our eyes. So. Like I said, I'd like to get everybody's support, and once again, we would not be frivolous in our spending with legal if we know that we can't have some type of
That was gonna be my
positive,
follow-up.
yes.
You'll keep us posted, as we know.
Absolutely.
Once we have an idea, possibly, if we're going to be joining something, what a
Absolutely. I will
estimated
keep
cost would
everybody
be.
informed of, how far we can get, if we could gain ground in any fashion at all. I certainly am not going to pay our attorneys just to have correspondence with nothing, no positive outcome.
And another concern that I have on that note is our legal representation versed in this?
Actually, that's a good question. I spoke to Mrs. Miller, and she is not.
They're a very large law firm. It may not
Yes.
be her, but someone else.
Yeah, so she is not. I spoke with her acting partner, is what you said, one of the partners, who's very well-versed in affordable housing law. So we're grateful that we did pick such a big law firm that basically operates in different areas of law. So she will not be handling it. Her partner will. And I'm sorry, but I forget his name at the moment. But yeah, we certainly are not going to throw money away at someone who wouldn't know. So, and I will certainly keep everybody on top of the situation as it progresses. So,
Just one little,
yeah.
We had 22 affordable housing units in a grant. It was just taken off the table because our township was asleep at the wheel. Those units were purchased of $90,000 each, a giveaway that took our affordable credits right off the table. We had to repurchase those units for over $500,000. $90,000 is not market value for those units. We got robbed, misguided, not proactive township committee. Let the ball drop on this. That tax pilot program for these units, they gave a deal for 30 years at $12,000 a year. You know how much it costs to educate a child in this town? $34,000 per student. It's a joke. Yeah, I'm mad. I'm mad as hell because I don't want to see the quality of our life and be degraded in this township. I moved like everybody at this table and everybody in this room to achieve the American dream to live here, not to be forced to build houses, forced to build extra schools, forced to hire extra teachers. A stand needs to be taken by the school district. And I'm going to give credit, which I normally never do to people. Our planning board chairman has stepped up to the plate. He's got some vision of this town should have been proactive years ago and taken this land off the table, purchased, been aggressive in searching who's going to be selling 100 acres, 200 acres. Purchase that land, take it off the table for affordable housing. But this whole affordable housing, like I said, I'm not against the people that move in to have affordable housing. I wish the very best to them. But as far as the school board member in this district, we need to we need to fight. That's it. That's all I have to say.
Okay, yes, Mrs. Cameron.
Looking into the lawyer, Kevin just brought up a good point. In addition to looking into the lawsuit, can we also look into maybe the school district purchasing land? Is that something that?
I don't know. I'll let Dr. Garabay answer. I could certainly bring that up to our legal counsel as well. But yeah.
I can give a very short answer, yes.
Okay.
Angelique,
So we're trying to do everything we can. Every place we could gain traction here, we're going to move forward.
Angelique,
Mrs. Scarpa, yeah, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Do you know if, could you let the public know, did our town, our municipality, did they join that?
No, as far as I'm aware, they did not join the 27
it would be
municipalities
groundbreaking. It'd be great
that
for us
are
to
on
do it.
record.
So it'd be groundbreaking. It'd be great for us if we could.
Yeah,
if we
I
could
mean,
do it.
I mean, like I said, I'm going to have to see. I would like to be the first school district if we're allowed to. You know, like I said, it could. This whole idea, we could fall on, you know, our faces. I don't know, but I'm certainly not going to take it standing, you know, lying down. We're going to stand up and do as much as we
And so is
can.
our township. If they haven't, they need to get up and join that. If they're
Yeah,
not thinking about
listen,
it, they
I
need to do
understand,
so.
as you all know, that as frugal as I am, I can't reiterate this enough. I'm so cheap when it comes to spending money. And I understand when people say, oh, we're drawing a lawsuit that could possibly fail. We're failing already. We're failing miserably. They're taking over this town. So $5,000, $10,000, as much as it kills me to spend that, that's money well spent to me to fight instead of letting our town just wither away right in front of our eyes. It's our chance. It's our only chance we got. Why not take it? I just don't understand the thinking on that. So thank you for your comment.
Yeah,
Mr.
I'm going to support that because what I've seen, we've been to a bunch of town meetings, and this is more about a failure to act as opposed to a failure of acting. So they have plenty of opportunities to act in a space of eminent domain, and they have not done so, not just this past year, but for the past decade, to exercise their right to eminent domain and to try to claw back land and take it off the table so that it could not be of consideration. And they have failed to act in accordance and think proactively in the space. They have not responded. They, meaning the township, have not proactively responded in joining this, and on our behalf, it's a shame that we have to do so. You know, this is their role to do so, and it's about time that we are voicing our position and saying enough is enough, and whatever we can do from our platform, we are going to support and push forward, because it's a gross overlook for not acting, and it has been going on for quite a while in this town. So in support of your directive, and looking forward to seeing some progress from this.
Okay, great. You know, like I said, you know, they may think, you know, we can fail in the future, but at this point, we have nothing to lose.
Greatest failure
And-
is in not trying, and
not-
that's
yeah.
exactly what they're doing right now.
Yeah, and for them to not act basically hurts our district the most. The school system is going to basically feel this the most. The impact is going to be on our 3 campuses the most. So for them not to take the lead in joining the lawsuit, regardless of the outcome, you know, we're losing the most here, the Board of Education and our future decision-making. So, okay, so do I have everybody's support?
Yes.
And then, like I said, I'll keep everybody informed. I'm sorry, Mr. Orico? Okay. Did you want to say anything? Oh, okay. Okay. All right, so that concludes my president's report. Like I said, there was a lot of other stuff to cover, but that I felt was the most important. At this time, I want to welcome our student liaisons. They've been patiently waiting. It's their first time this year that they're attending our meetings. I want to thank them all for coming back this year, starting the new year. I did have a meeting with Mr. Scarpa. He joined me this time. It was great to have you, Mr. Scarpa. Dr. Garibay and Dr. Rigby organized a meeting about, a week or so ago, and I got to meet and chat about some great ideas that you all had. So at this time, if you want to take turns, I'd like you to, you know, get up, go over some ideas, what you'd like to see achieved this year, or put in some comments about our board as well. You're welcome to do that. Mrs. Diener?
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. I have 3 more ideas. I mean, it's not surprising. I got a lot of ideas. But my name is Emmanuel Diener. I'm in 8th grade. So I'll get right into it. One of my ideas is to give the middle school kids kind of like a not a book bag, but like it's like a satchel kind of bag. Kind of looks like this. Just like it would be clear and it would be a bit bigger, just to like hold some of their books in, so that way they can walk around the school without dropping everything in their hands. Because I've also seen some kids in the school use their Chroma cases, because some of them have like the ability to like put stuff in their Chroma case, but then I've seen the Chroma cases like break in two because there's just so much stuff in it. So I'm thinking that like the bags would definitely be like a big help, so that way like we're not walking around the school with a mountain of books covering our faces and like we trip and fall and then it all goes sprawling out on the floor, and that's just a big, like, it's just like it's a big problem in my opinion. So I think that like having like a clear bag, so that way like they're not like we don't have anything that like we shouldn't have in the bags, so making them clear would definitely work, and having them the size to fit maybe just about 2 binders, so they can like put most of their school supplies in their bags. And it would be given with like the assignment planners that like we get at the beginning of the year on like the first day of school, just so that way we're not walking around with tons of stuff in our hands. One other thing that I have is that I think it would be really nice if the 8th graders were able to like sign a ceiling tile or like something that can be hung on the school, just to like see how time progresses and have all the 8th graders' names written down on the school for years and years to come. And like their siblings can be like, they can point out and say, hey, that's my sister, or hey, that's my brother, or something from like years past. So I thought that'd be cute. We can figure out how to like where we can sign it, but I think it would be cute for the 8th graders too. not only have like their walkout, their clap out, their graduation, but also like leave like a mark on Cedar. And I have one last thing. I think so when the fifth graders come to the middle school to take like a tour of the middle school and the sixth graders are giving their presentations, there can be an eighth grade panel, which is like maybe 10 eighth graders that volunteer, of course, can like sit around while the sixth graders are presenting for the fifth graders, and the fifth graders can ask the eighth graders questions about like how their year has been in Cedar, how their years have like gone and stuff, and it will show the fifth grade, like the newly coming fifth grade, the new sixth graders really, like what they'd expect at Cedar, and like clubs and how hard their work is and how much homework they get. So that's all I have tonight. Thank you so much.
Well, before you leave the podium, can I ask you a few questions? The first thing, and I'll welcome questions from the board as well. The first thing, on the bag initiative, you said that so students are carrying a lot, that they're dropping stuff on their way to classes. Is that what the issue is? You find that's a big issue in school?
That was a huge issue for me my 6th, 7th, and 8th grade year. I keep dropping everything.
Okay, now when you bring all your stuff, don't you have time to go back to your lockers?
We
and get
do.
for each individual class?
We do, but we don't get a lot of time to go to our lockers. As an 8th grader, I can go whenever I would like, but I know like the 6th and the 7th graders don't have that privilege. And as a 6th grader and a 7th grader, I was like late to a lot of classes if I stopped by my locker because I had to drop stuff off and then like take stuff, and it would be just really hard to like get my stuff out in time, like to be in class on time. So the bags you can have, like with the bags you can have like stuff for like your first like 3 periods of the day, and then go to your locker like right before lunch or right after lunch or something, and then like be ready for the rest of the day.
Dr. Garba, is there any policy that makes it unable to carry a bag? Like, are they allowed to carry book bags through? They don't, but is it because they don't want to, or they're not allowed to?
They can have their locker time, but they don't want them carrying backpacks and things like that in the hallways.
All
Yeah,
right,
for
so this initiative with, would this be against our policy then, having?
we don't have a no book bag policy.
Okay.
Right.
All right, the only thing I have, that I kind of disagree with you, it's just, like I said, just my feedback, is having a bag that's clear. I believe in privacy, and like I said, I don't believe any kids would be carrying, I hope not, anything they shouldn't be, but I don't find it appropriate that it would have to be a clear bag where people can see maybe your private things you may have in there. So that's the one thing that I don't agree with you on there. But I do think it's a good idea. Maybe you could make an initiative where you can sell something with the Colts CDMS theme and, get it through the school store. I don't know if that's something we could look into ordering. Who's in charge of the school store? Okay, so Mrs. Hums, maybe, you could bring it up to Dr. Garibay, maybe the next meeting when we have in school, you could bring it up to her, see what the cost is, and, add an upcharge and raise money for the district as well, and see if students would purchase it.
All right.
All right, and
Thank
then,
you.
and it's nice to see those other initiatives as well. Anybody on the board like to question or comment?
I think, first of all, you did an excellent job in public
Thank you.
speaking, so good
Thank
for
you.
Yeah.
Very well, and thank you very much. I love your bag idea. I think the bag idea is a great opportunity. Maybe we look for a sponsorship. There's always a company out there, a private company here that wants to maybe put their name on the label and help sponsor that and help underwrite the initiative. So you never know. So I like that idea. I also love the idea of the 8th grade panel conversation. It encourages your students to get up and speak on a panel. It's not easy to do, but it's a great forum by which you can set it up if you want to participate in it even better. So push it forward. I think it's a great avenue, especially for young fifth graders coming in to see the big 8th graders at the desk and presenting. That's fantastic. So kudos for you coming up with that suggestion.
Thank you.
Nicely done.
Yeah, just to piggyback off your comment for the the fifth graders coming in, I know we have like an orientation, right? At nighttime, some of the older students get to speak. Maybe we could look into having students, I know they have the ambassadors that walk around. Maybe that night, they have a panel where the students speak and welcome. Maybe that same panel could be available to answer those questions on a personal one-on-one basis with the incoming fifth graders. So that's, I think, very easy to put into play right away for this the end of this year. So we can certainly see that happening immediately for this year.
All right.
All right, anybody else?
I was going to say, just to piggyback on the panel, which I think is a great idea, having something where the fifth graders aren't just asking questions, but also the eighth graders telling the fifth graders what they wish they knew coming into middle school. And I think that would be extremely beneficial for all of them. There's a lot of things that you learn in your time in middle school that, you can share with them. But great job.
Thank you.
Great, thank you very much, Mrs. Diener, thank you.
I have one thing.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mrs.
That's okay.
Hamler.
So again, thank you so much for coming up and sharing your ideas. I really love the leaving a mark idea. Reminded me of what we want to do with our military students. So maybe we can kind of combine the two, where our military students also leave a mark, and then our eighth graders as well, whether it's a tile, or you said something about a ceiling project, or maybe even like outside bricks, to pave. But I think there's a lot of potential for that. So that was one that hit me the most. So thank you again.
Thank you.
Great, thank you. All right, Mrs. Boucher.
Hi, I'm Sophia Boucher, and I'm in 8th grade. And last year I did, I met with Pomptonian, which is our cafeteria, like, lunch company. And we had, like, a nice meeting, because last year I brought up how a lot of the foods in the cafeteria had, like, dairy mixed into it. Like, for example, the salad had cheese on top. And I was just, like, looking and asking questions to see like what we can do to maybe like separate it. And they did say that there is a menu for students with like special dietary needs, which I found was really helpful, and not a lot of people knew about that. So yeah, I was just, this kind of like an update just to share that I did like meet with them, and I would love to continue this throughout this year too.
All right, great. I just want to make a comment. I was there at that meeting, and I remember, didn't we say we were going to put out a little,
Form?
like
Yeah.
a questionnaire or form? I'm not sure where that is in time, but maybe we could also add your message that there are options in case you were unaware, and maybe we could get some of those gluten-free or dairy-free options and incorporate it into that email. Because like you said, some students may be unaware of what's available, so.
Yes.
Yep.
I think we said we were going to connect after with Dr. Rigby for a forum and survey that we can go out and say just some ideas. And I know Mrs. Bizzuti, who's who we met with, and I know you've been working with, is very open and receptive to that student voice and
Yes.
independence. So we'll definitely have an update for the
Great, all right, that sounds good.
I just have a question for her.
Yeah.
Are you guys able to currently access that alternate menu?
I'm not aware, like I was not aware of it beforehand. I mean, now I don't know where to access it, but I'm sure there is a way to access
We
it.
can make that readily available to them. Okay. So
It's in there. It is there. We can try to, we'll work with Pomptonian to make it a little bit more prominent, but it is absolutely.
Okay.
And the students have access from their Chromebooks? Okay, all right, so there's an idea, we could still incorporate
I actually
it.
think the posted menus that are on the website, if you go over, it has, it lists
Okay.
things like that, but I'll definitely check that out. It's not something that I personally look for, but I can definitely look for it and even think about ISIP as making it more prominent.
Yes, that would be great.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, great. Thank you. come right up, yep.
So, I'm Kara Harlan, and I'm in 8th grade. I don't have an idea at the moment, but I do have a concern that I want to bring up. What? Oh, okay. So, I've been noticing that students are taking apart their computers. They're taking apart the keypad, the keycaps, and the plastic part around the screen, and people are like putting lead in it, or like it could shock you. Like I've heard that it could shock you before. So I just wanted to bring up that that is something that's a concern.
All right, I'd like to comment on this. This was brought up in our meeting. I remember discussing it, and I was disappointed to hear that our students are doing that because Mr. Walsh had made a request that we don't charge the $50 Chromebook fee, and we try to save our taxpayers everywhere we can, but it's kind of hard to not collect or not require the district to collect those funds when kids are willingly and knowingly destroying property. So as a board, we're trying to save parents of the district money, but yet their kids are being destructive to our property. So, you know, I'm sad to hear that. I want to see how we can be proactive in preventing this without being like, what do you call it, like tattletale and all that. If there's some type of incentive we can put in for the students, they shouldn't have an incentive. They shouldn't need that. They should just take care of the property. But maybe we can just come up with an idea of how to have kids respect our property and, you know, continue to take care of it. I don't know if there's any ideas you can come up with to encourage better behavior with the Chromebooks, and I certainly don't want to see any kid getting injured from taking apart their keycaps. So
I thought we had discussed the potential reward opportunities, or should they return a working laptop with no issues afterwards, they get an incentive back. I appreciate you bringing this up again. That's an excellent point. So maybe we bake that into the program. We charge $50 right now, and they lose it at the end, but maybe some element of that they get back, or you charge more and you get some of it back. Just something to encourage a positive return. Time is of the essence. We're how many are out there? 900 of these and change. We're leasing them on a 3-year basis, so they're expensive. So it's more than
How many of them do we get back a year damaged?
So it's perpetual about the year. We have a 3-year estimate that I asked Mr. Petrillo to put together because he is responsible for when we have to send them out for repair. So in 2022, it was a little over $20,000 in external repairs. 2023, it was $33,500 in external repairs. And in 2024, it was about $34,329 in repairs.
And this is additional money that we're spent across every child in the school. So
Jason, this is money
over
and above what our current personnel are taking care of.
absolutely,
So
and
this
it's absolutely absurd. I want the children held responsible, or their parents held responsible for this, and that $34,000 will now become the responsibility of those parents to pay it back to the school district. Because I'm not going to reward bad behavior with $34,000 a year being spread across every single student and every single taxpayer, for that matter. That is just absurd. $34,000. Think about that. No, that's not going to happen anymore. No. Whatever the damage is, if it's a $1,000 Chromebook, it'll be charged to the family, you know, and that's it. I'm not going to have 900 Chromebooks and have 100 of them damaged and have it cost taxpayers $35,000. And then worst of all, you bring back the families who bring back the Chromebooks in excellent condition, the ones that they're still paying for it. They're still paying for the damaged ones. Yes. How is that? And how is that fair? That is not fair at all. So that's definitely going to change.
All right, so let's work on Mr. Harlan's idea to see how we could be proactive and put something in a policy or into play for this coming year. Because, yeah, that's an excessive amount of money to put towards complete negligence and destruction of our school property. It's just so senseless.
If I might, we do, if it's, I mean, each damage is assessed differently because it's whether it's intentional or whether it's accidental completely, because damages happen. It's something that happens. So those are assessed. And in terms of my understanding and my knowledge of situations, those that are deliberate vandalism are charged accordingly. So we have addressed that and, through discipline and things. So each one is assessed differently and each damages. So we would need, what do you mean both. Both, absolutely, because one's a behavioral and one damages school property where or does have a policy in place for vandalism, to be able to recoup some of the losses that are incurred. But to your point, that is something that we, as a board, you look at, is a damage just considered a damage, whether it's accidental, intentional, or it's not. So that's something, conversation from a policy.
I don't think the taxpayers should be responsible for vandalism of these
Absolutely
900
not.
Chromebooks.
Absolutely not.
That is just, and the fact that it has increased every single year. I mean, I'm not going to get to the point where it's going to be $50,000, $60,000 on the backs of taxpayers when, it should be directed towards the child or the family that brought it back in horrible condition. So.
We don't know if the cost has gone up because more students are destroying the Chromebooks versus just the prices of fixing them have increased.
Yeah, still.
That's extremely true. So the cost is a combination of the two. So I would probably say we keep the records of how many incidents as well as the cost that increased. So we can certainly provide that data, like the next cow I would be able to provide that data.
Sure, right. But in 2022, you said it was roughly 20,000, and in 2024, it was like
33.
33,000.
Correct.
That's exponential.
So,
All right, well, that's a great point. Thank you for bringing it up, and we're
can I-
certainly, yes, Mrs. Ramirez.
Not to put you on the spot right now, and you don't have to give an answer right now, but maybe you could come up with some ideas that maybe would incentivize students to take care of their, school property. What do you think, and again, you don't have to answer now, just something to, muster over, what do you think would motivate them to take care of it? What type of reward program would actually motivate? Because we can all sit here and we can think of things that maybe would motivate us or that we think, but, the students, they're on a different level than we are. And so, back in my day, pizza parties were fun.
I was just going to say, pizza
We used
party.
to read and get like our little the bucket pizza from Pizza Hut. I don't know if that would still do it for kids these days. So maybe there could be something that you come up with and you can present the board with an idea to help us kind of direct some of our policy writing. I think that would really be great.
I would like to add that kids are not noticing. They think that the computers are $50 each, so they think they have they're able to take apart their computers because they think it's garbage.
Yeah, $50.
Well, the $50, just to make it clear, that is basically
The fee?
the service. It's a fee, it's a usage, so when the computer comes
I know, but
back-
what that's saying, it's a great point.
No, yeah.
Messaging.
They're not finding value in it.
They should know that these computers are $1,000 each, and then if they damage it, their parents are going to pay for it. Plain and simple.
It's the messaging associated.
Yeah, and having a Chromebook is a privilege. It's not a right. It's a privilege. So if they want their Chromebooks, do they go home? I don't think they go home and ruin their parents' laptops with all their work on it, or throw something at a computer screen, or take apart their TV. I'm sure, you know what I mean. It's just ridiculous. They should know that these Chromebooks are $1,000 or more, whatever they are, and that if they damage them, that they will be financially responsible for them. And it's just a clear message. That's all the motivation that these children need. And growing up, I was happy. I was happy to have a book, a pencil, and a piece of paper to write my homework on. I mean, come on. It's that they shouldn't.
Let's work on, I'll speak to Dr. Garibay this week about some type of message we could send out, maybe to the district.
Sure.
And, let's see, we'll try to be proactive and get something out right away in reference to your initiative, okay?
And I'll connect back with you, maybe a PSA messaging, almost like an infomercial or something like that for the students on the morning announcements. about reminding them, and this way you get all the students involved. We may have a student representative who's on the morning announcements. You know, that, right? That we. Yeah, they would do it, yeah.
So you could work with Mrs. Early.
So it might be something in terms that we could even get messages and remindings and pointing and things like that. So that might be something that we could work on too.
I feel like $1,000 is pretty high.
They're about 200. They're about $300.
Right.
Yeah, they're about. I didn't want to. For the record, they're about $300, $250, $300.
Jason buys
Yeah.
$1,000 one.
I do. Nothing less. 2 terabytes, that's it.
Right.
But thank you for bringing that to our attention, because now you're definitely gonna save, a lot of the taxpayers' money bringing that to light. So thank you for that, we will address that.
Yeah, thank you very much. Great. At this time, we're going to run into our information and action items. If the liaisons would like to stay, I'd like to start incorporating you on some of the comments on some of the things that we pass. So if you want to stay, if you have other prior engagements, you could leave at this time. If not, I may include you in some of, not that you'll be voting on any of this, just some of your comments and inputs on some of the items we're passing. Okay. We are going to go right into our liaison reports. I almost skipped. I know, I lost my spot too. We're going to start with Mrs. Horowitz. She's going to be presenting the Parent Advisory Committee report.
Great. So our first meeting is Monday, October 27th at 10 a.m. and at 7 p.m. in the admin building. As already mentioned, our first topic will be surrounding the Parental Bill of Rights. Did everyone RSVP, or we still need RSVPs? Okay, we still need
Next Thursday. Till next Thursday.
Till next Thursday.
Yes.
Thank you. Should I jump into PTO?
Yes, yep.
Okay. This Friday, the 17th, is the PTO's walk and talk at 9:30 at Town Hall. The 25th is trunk or treat from 1:30 to 1 o'clock to 3 p.m. at Bucks Mill. November 18th is the turkey color run at the elementary school at 3:30. If you want more information or want to sign up, please go to the PTO site. Lastly, December 6th will be the Frosty Holiday Shop. That's it.
Great, thank you for those updates, Mrs. Horowitz. Moving on to the Colts Neck Township School Newsletter, Mrs. Kammer.
Okay, newsletters were distributed at the October 8th council meeting and at the Colts Neck Library. A resident asked about being included in the school email list, so I wanted to check if residents can contact Phil Capasso to be added to email blasts.
So yes, they can. We've entertained that idea in the process. The one thing that we always take into consideration is that we may want to add a separate group list for anyone who wants to be. We have had that as community members, because sometimes we do send messaging about certain security or safety or issues that we want to communicate directly to our parents and not necessarily to the outer community. So at the time we're doing it. So yes, there is a method that we can work with to be able to have that submission.
Again, we know when we're printing them out, they're more costly, and if we can distribute them to residents who are interested, it would be wonderful to have.
We could actually have a newsletter sign up. Like if you wanted to have just a sign up for the newsletter, and then that would be blast just for the newsletter.
All right, okay,
That might be something we can entertain.
let's move forward with that. I love that. Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
All right, great, thank you, Mrs. Kammer. Moving on to the Colts Neck Township School Art, Sports, and Extracurricular Activities, Mr. Regnetta.
Thank you. We have spring travel baseball tryouts coming up for 7-year-olds to 11-year-olds. It'll be held on Saturday, November 1st at Ladd Road Baseball Fields. It'd be a $10 fee. You can register on TeamSnap. Of course, always go to Colts Neck Sports Foundation for more info, and you can also email baseball@coltsnecksportsfoundation.com. And also wrestling program is also going to become available for Colts Neck residents, the kids from 1st grade to 5th grade. And the season will be from November 17th through February 19th. And it'll be on Mondays and Wednesday nights from 5:45 p.m. to 6:45 p.m. And it'll be held at the Colts Neck High School Wrestling Room. Of course, go to TeamSnap to sign up. and register. Of course, go to coltsnecksportsfoundation.com for more information, and you can email wrestling@coltsnecksportsfoundation.com if you have any questions. And also, the Colts Neck Sports Foundation is on Facebook and Instagram. They put out a message if you guys want to like on Facebook or send a follow on Instagram. That's about it. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Mr. Rignetta, for those updates. Moving to Colts Neck Township Committee, Mr. Scarpa and Mrs. Camera.
Okay, so these are some highlights from the October 8th meeting where I did attend in person. The meeting began with affordable housing. I'm sure Rob will talk about this more at the next meeting, but a letter from the Navy is now posted on the township website. And I do recommend residents listening to the live streaming feature now. Mr. Viola and Mr. Buzetta talked about it in great detail just to understand what the town is advocating for. The Colts Neck Sports Foundation is seeking leadership volunteers, and the application deadline is November 8th. The Colts Neck Business Association is having their 16th annual pig roast tonight. And Sue Fitzpatrick, in addition to being the CNBA liaison, is also the chair for the Township 250th Anniversary Committee. And the CNBA is encouraging community involvement through an upcoming barn tour celebrating Colts Neck's equestrian history. So anyone interested who maybe has a barn that they would like to be part of the tour can reach out to Sue for details. There's a new business in town, Welcome Pivotal Pilates. It's owned by two sisters, and it's across from Delicious Orchards in the Colts Neck Town Plaza. In terms of first aid, Committeeman Rizzuto reported it's been a very busy month. A shout out to President Martha and a sincere thank you to all the volunteers. And recruitment efforts are ongoing, so please get involved. The Historic Preservation Committee will host its Halloween event on October 25th at the Fire Company No. 1, featuring a haunted hayride and decorated displays. And all the proceeds support the committee's preservation work. And this year, one of their programs was an educational outreach program for our schools, and it featured Betsy Ross, a reenactment on October 9th. Some of the committee members attended. Kim Hanley was the historical reenactor, and she brought the life and legacy of Betsy Ross to life for our second graders. So again, that was completely free. So again, another special thank you to the Colts Neck Historical Preservation Committee. They are supporting our schools. They are funding these events for us. And let's see, anything else? Just in terms of community engagement, there are citizen leadership forums available at the municipal complex, and all residents are encouraged to get involved and serve on the many township committees. And that's all.
Great. Mr. Scarpa.
Yeah, just a note, Phyllis has done a remarkable job in providing a very comprehensive report out for the township at all of our meetings. It would be nice if the township did a little bit of a element of reciprocity to the Board of Ed, you know.
Yeah, they won't. Yes.
Listen, I'm going to publicly invite you to come on out and hear all the great things that we're doing. You don't even have to listen to it. Go look at our newsletter. We have an excellent track record. We are setting a mark. So please, we spend a lot of time talking about the township. Maybe spend half the time talking about us would be appreciated. We do represent a major part of the body of our town, so we'd like to see that on your growing agenda.
Great. Thank you for pointing that out. That was a good observation, Mrs. Scarpa. Thank you. Okay, moving on to the Colts Neck Planning Board. I know Mr. Scales was unable to attend. I'm not sure, Kevin, if there was anything other than that disastrous letter that went out, again, that the Navy put out in reference to the housing. Yeah. I know Phyllis just touched on that.
The Navy fought harder than our town on opposing that development.
Yep, absolutely, they did. Do you want to comment on anything else, or? No. Okay. All right, we're going to move forward to the Colts Neck Township Senior Citizens. Mr. Walsh? Might as well just leave it on.
No. I kind of thought maybe for outreach, our kids are the best ambassadors we have in this whole town. the senior citizen meeting, the chorus and the band, small contingent, and maybe at their holiday luncheon meetings? They like to come to one place. They don't like, they're very comfortable.
Yeah, I know, they're very,
They have the
yeah.
nice lunch all set out. I was just wondering if that's even possible to have a small, few members of the chorus from Mrs. Hubbard and Mr. Brown's great band they have to attend their meetings and give them a little tiny performance for the holidays.
Great. Anything else?
That's it.
All right. I'm sure Dr. Garabay would look into that for us. Thank you. Okay. Naval Weapons Station Earl Liaisons, Mrs. Ramirez and Mr. Scarpa.
The only thing is, as you mentioned, we have the tour at the end of the month, so looking forward to that. Hopefully we'll have something to report back on after that. And that's it for now. That's all that I have. If there's anything yet, Brian.
Yeah, I spoke to Mrs. Jones earlier today. My daughter's infatuated with Halloween, as am I, so I asked her if we could bring some treats over there when we go. So I will pick up some maybe cupcakes and some chocolate-covered bat pretzels and all kinds of cute things. So I will, pick everything up, and then we'll come and donate it to our great armed forces and military, Navy, and all those who serve. So thank you, Jessica. All right, moving into the state and county school boards, I really don't have anything. It's the same stuff. We have that, the big board event, New Jersey School Boards workshop coming up. What was it? I forgot the dates. I say it so much. The 23rd or something, 23rd and 24th. Yeah, that's pretty much all I have. Yeah, I just want to make a comment. I hope this year, last year, there was a lot of highlighting of the drag queen story hour stuff down there that was being presented. I'm not sure who pays for that, who encourages that. I just think it's a poor showing. It's unnecessary. It's basically there to ignite parents and just put a stain on public education. So I'm hoping that they refrain from doing that this year, whoever is in charge of that. Okay, moving on to the superintendent's report.
Thank you. I want to thank Dr. Reynolds and everyone for the presentation this evening. You know, as I said, we've spoken about that, and we're going to be continuing to talk about that as reflected. Next week are our parent-teacher conferences. They are a cornerstone of effective communication and partnership between families and schools. In Colts Neck, the importance of these conferences extends beyond simple progress updates. They serve as a critical bridge connecting homes and school in support of each other's academic, social, and emotional growth. But these conferences are just a beginning. We encourage staff and families to maintain open lines of communication. A child's education is a shared responsibility. Families are encouraged to take an active role in their child's learning, while teachers work to facilitate meaningful and productive dialogue for the purpose of both leading and supporting their child throughout the school year. Parent-teacher conferences are not just administrative checkpoints. They are meaningful opportunities to connect, collaborate, and align efforts so that every student can thrive. So please be in there, be in it, and enjoy your time, face-to-face, FaceTime that you have with your child's teachers. I want to speak because of action item number 5, our 25-26 district goals. So if you'll just indulge me for 2 seconds, maybe longer. The 25-26 goals remain. The Colts Neck Township schools remain steadfast in our commitment to ensuring excellence in teaching and learning through a strategic plan that prioritizes student achievement, innovation, fiscal responsibility, and community partnership. The 25-26 district goals represent a unified roadmap for moving this district forward, one that reflects both our enduring values and our future-focused vision for student success. Student achievement lies at the heart of our mission. Through goal number 1, we will continue to systematically evaluate the effectiveness of our curricula, instructional programs, scheduling, and assessments to ensure that every student is provided with the opportunity to meet or exceed grade level expectations. By using performance data to refine instruction and provide targeted support, we will continue to strengthen our capacity to meet the diverse needs of all learners. To achieve this goal, we must remain committed to being intentional decision makers with a clear purpose and understanding of data that supports decisions and actions to support the accomplishment of this goal. Goal 2 extends this commitment by exploring something new, innovative pathways for student learning through a feasibility study on career and technical education at the middle school level. Exploratory programming in grades 6 through 8. This forward-looking initiative aligns with the New Jersey Student Learning Standards and will help us develop a multi-year action plan to potentially provide students with early exposure to career exploration, real-world applications, and 21st century skills. In the area of technology, goal number 3 emphasizes our responsibility to guide staff in making thoughtful, research-based decisions about technology use in the classroom, establishing school-related screen time guidance that promotes active engagement, digital citizenship, and cybersecurity awareness ensures that our instructional technology practices support healthy, balanced, and meaningful learning experiences for students. Under Finance and Facilities, Goal 4 reflects our ongoing dedication to maintaining safe, secure, and supportive environments that enhance student learning and well-being. By approaching facility improvements with fiscal responsibility and seeking additional funding opportunities, we will continue to ensure that our schools remain vibrant, modern, and responsive to the evolving needs of our learners and staff. And I want to pause there for a minute and just on behalf, Mr. Osmond, Mr. Moretta, Mr. Marasco, and I, we just want to, again, give our sincere thanks and appreciation for the support of yesterday. You know, these things happen in districts, and to be able to act swiftly and to take a school that at 3 o'clock had to be closed, and by 7 o'clock have a plan to keep it open is a remarkable team effort, and I truly appreciate the thanks and support and communication efforts of everyone involved, especially, and Mr. Osmond especially wanted me to mention on behalf of, as the principal, just everything that we could do to have the school open today. So I appreciate that, and just know my gratitude, all of our gratitude is sincere. Finally, through community engagement and goal number 5, the district will explore the feasibility of reestablishing the Colts Neck Education Foundation. It's been a process that we've talked about through the years, and part of this board has been always a conversation about how we can find funding sources. Many districts like ours have an education foundation. There is one that exists on paper in this town, and we are going to commit ourselves to making outreach and connections to bring it to the forefront. It's intended to strengthen partnerships between the district and our community. Revitalizing this effort could create new opportunities for private funding and innovative programming that further enrich our students' educational experiences. Together, these goals embody our shared belief that excellence in education requires thoughtful reflection, collaborative planning, and purposeful action. Each goal is directly aligned to the district strategic plan and reinforces our collective vision to provide an exceptional educational experience that prepares every Colts Neck student for continued success in school, in career, and in life. So that's what, in terms of, that's my statement on our goals. With regards to the contract approval that is on personnel for myself, I want to begin by expressing my sincere gratitude to the Colts Neck Township Board of Education for your continued confidence in my leadership, and to our entire Colts Neck community for your unwavering support. It is both an honor and a privilege to continue serving as your superintendent of schools. Every day, I have the privilege of working alongside exceptional educators, administrators, and support staff who are deeply committed to our students and to the mission of providing an outstanding educational experience. I am continually inspired by their dedication, their creativity, and the care they show for every child who walks through our doors. I am also deeply appreciative of our Board of Education, vision, collaboration, and steadfast commitment to maintaining high standards for our district. Your partnership ensures that the Colts Neck Township schools remain a place where excellence is not just expected, but cultivated. As we look ahead, I look forward to renewing my commitment to leading with integrity, transparency, and purpose. Together, we will continue to advance our strategic priorities, ensuring that every student is challenged, supported, and prepared to succeed not only in school, but again, in life. Colts Neck is a truly special community, one that values education, embraces innovation, and believes in the potential of every child. I am deeply proud to continue this journey with all of you, and I thank you from my heart for the opportunity to serve. That concludes my superintendent's report.
Thank you very much, Dr. Garris. Okay, we are going to take a look at the few information items that are listed. We have 2 there. All right, once you're done with that, we are going to open up the floor again for our second public comment section tonight. If you'd like to make a statement, comment, question, you could do so. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, that is, that's right, I'm sorry. Sorry. Excuse me, folks. All right, hold on a minute, let me just. What's that? Well, I'm always welcome to that. You know that. Okay, hold on a second, let me just see where we're at here. Okay, did I whip something out? Oh, here it is, okay, got it. All right, guys, we're gonna start, I need a motion to move action items number 1 through 5. 1 through 5.
Motion?
All right, any questions, concerns, or comments on those 5 particular items?
I just want to make a comment on field trips under 4. And the word overnight was not removed from the resolution, so I'm just striking that as a typo, where it says approve the following overnight. These are not overnight trips. Okay? We're not going to the farm overnight. We're not staying at the farm overnight. We are not. No, we're not.
All right, if anybody else, oh, I'm sorry. Did you need anything? Oh, sorry. Oh, so exciting, so much fun. Okay, if we can
Angelique.
get in, yeah.
I'm sorry, I just want to say
No,
something.
that's okay.
So I just think it's great that we're doing a trip to Carm's Farm. It's one of my family's personal favorite places to
Yeah.
go. It's a great place, great family. Our kids always have a great time. I always have a great time. And I think that's just really awesome. This is the first time we're doing that, right? I haven't seen that previously.
I haven't
Carm's
seen
Farm.
it either.
Yeah, they've only been open for a little
Oh,
over
yeah,
a
it's a
year.
new,
We
yeah.
didn't do it last year.
We did
They
not.
just opened,
No.
yeah.
Wait, is that
So-
the one off?
Right on 537. Yeah, it's
Oh,
a
yeah,
great
yeah,
place.
yeah,
If you
yeah.
have not been there,
I've
if
never
anyone
been, but it looks cute.
It's, again, it's one of my, I was so excited when they opened up. I go there a lot.
It's more for
We were just there last weekend.
younger kids, or?
Yeah, but I'm telling you, like, I have a good time. You can go play with the bunnies. You can pet the pigs. They have a whole thing with, like, 1 million bunnies you can go play with. You give them carrots.
I know him
It's a great
personally.
place. I'm.
Do you?
Yeah.
Yeah? There's what?
Carmine.
Oh, yeah, they have the zip lines now. That's right. Yeah, and there's
Oh, is that
different
what his name-
animals.
Carmine is his name? I'm sorry, he was
Yeah.
giving us a little,
Yes,
like,
Carm. Yep.
all right, great.
Yeah, it's a
that's
great
awesome.
place. It's huge. It's massive. It's not just like,
Oh, I should stop
like,
in, okay.
go. All right, that's all.
great.
That's all I want to say.
Thank you for that feedback. All right, at this time, we'll take a roll call on those 1 through 5.
1 through 5 action items. Mrs. Camera,
Yes.
Mrs. Horowitz,
Yes.
Mr. Arico,
Yes.
Mrs. Ramirez,
Yes.
Mr. Rignetta,
Yes.
Mr. Scarpa,
Yes.
Mrs. Volpe,
Yes.
Mr. Walsh.
Yes.
Thank you. The motion carried.
Okay, great. I need a motion to move items under buildings and grounds.
You have nothing.
Oh, there is nothing there. Oh, gosh, I'm having a hard time reading tonight. Yeah, I know, still waiting to get them. Okay, I need a motion to move action items under curriculum, 1 through 3.
Motion?
Second.
All right, roll call, please. I'm sorry, any questions or comments on those 3 items? No? Okay, roll call.
Mrs. Camera,
Yes.
Mrs. Horowitz,
Yes.
Mr. Arico,
Yes.
Mrs. Ramirez,
Yes.
Mr. Rignetta,
Yes.
Mr. Scarpa,
Yes.
Mrs. Volpe,
Yes.
Mr. Walsh.
Yes.
Thank you. The motion carried.
Great. I need a motion to move items under finance,
Motion.
1 through 5.
Second.
All right, anybody have any questions or comments under those particular items?
Yeah, I had a question with regards to the 100-gallon natural gas commercial water heater at the primary school. So is this a swap out? Is this removing or one that's no longer working and then replacing?
You're asking?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's
Me
what we're
asking
asking.
you.
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah.
I just wanna make sure.
Yeah.
Yes, it's swapping out one that is 21 years old, the original unit from the
Gotcha.
building. One of 2.
One of 2. Okay, so we
Yeah,
have 2 in
replaced
place.
another one, the other one, maybe 2 years ago.
Was the replacement of the other one about the same ballpark? Like 13,000 and change?
Yes, slightly less.
It just seems high for a 100-gallon water heater. You know, I was doing a commercial grade with Granger. I know that they're different than residential. They come in at about 4,800 to 54, depending upon. Do you know about any history behind
Yeah,
the
part
system?
of it's labor, you know.
Yep.
If we drill down, we could probably see what the equipment is plus the labor.
Okay. Okay, that'd be great. It just seemed a bit high. You know, I know labor maybe is 50% of the cost of the product itself.
I can say that it's in line if you compare it to the boiler room engineering report that we had a few years ago, when they listed out all the items in the room and their useful life and the estimated cost to replace. It's about in line with that.
Okay.
Is that already, Mr. Master, is that already contracted? It's already in motion to have this company
The
replace it?
procurement is underway, yes.
Okay. All right.
I have a question on number 5. I just wanted to make sure I understood, because that was a last-minute change. So, in terms of Mrs. Condron, right?
Condren, yep.
So we had okayed that she can work 30 days, and she had to finish before October 20th.
We estimated the time frame with the audit, yeah.
So
there's
it's
a few
still
days
30
remaining.
days of work. No, that part hasn't changed.
No.
We're just removing the deadline.
Correct,
So she can finish later.
correct,
Okay, since I'm assuming the work isn't done yet?
correct. There's an extension for the auditors and the work that's being done, correct.
So I did understand it. So I'm not at all opposed to the content of the resolution. I feel many times that as a board, we've asked for not getting these last-minute changes at 4 p.m. I have trouble, now I understand with the incident that happened at the elementary school, but I do have trouble understanding why this would be considered an emergency item that would have to be added after 4 o'clock on the very day of our meeting. We've repeatedly requested, and I mean, I know as communication chair, we both have, Brian and I, a minimum of 24 hours notice for all agenda items, just so we could be prepared. I know you sent an email saying if we had questions about it, but at 4 p.m., I'm running my kids and getting ready for the meeting tonight. Don't have time at that point to start asking questions. So I just feel like these last-minute postings are unprofessional, and it undermines the transparency and prevents us as board members really from fulfilling our responsibility to the community in an informed and deliberate manner. So, if we could really, unless it's an emergency, if we could really work on not having 4 o'clock emails, I know I would appreciate it.
Yeah, I'll
Sure,
second
go
that. You know, I think it's a great opportunity to highlight the fact that we had the 2 ones with the well pump and the portable water service. That's obviously an anomaly, and that was an emergency, so that should be included. But this one here seems to be more about, it's a carryover item, so to echo your point, let's try to button this up in front of these meetings. I certainly didn't print this out inside of 24 hours, so something to keep in mind.
Noted.
I know we've asked for this several times.
Noted, and we've, again, I sent an email, follow-up email, the 352 explaining it, and I own that responsibility-wise because we've tried to be better sending emails that we've received communication on Monday, knowing in anticipation, obviously, that. So with regard to professionalism, I think the language in the communications are professional. I think the timeliness of it, is circumstantial. So we will continue to always try to be proactive in our communication and, inform the board accordingly. So I appreciate the feedback.
Okay, just a comment on that as well. Going forward, the board always has the right, to table something if they, not this particular thing is simple, but if there's something going forward, and I understand your issue coming out late, we don't get a chance to read it, but I do understand your issue. It's something simple to put it on there, but you always have the right as board members to request to table something and ask for more time, or move it to a later meeting. So always feel free and know that that's your option as well. And I appreciate moving forward, if you could do it a little bit earlier for some of the board members. Okay, where are we? We're going to take a roll call for those items 1 through 5.
Finance items, 1 through 5. Mrs. Camera?
Yes on 1 to 4. I'm going to abstain for number 5.
Mrs. Horowitz?
Yes.
Mr. Arico?
Yes.
Mrs. Ramirez?
Yes.
Mr. Rignetta?
Yes.
Mr. Scarpa?
Yes on 1 to 4, abstain from number 5, not from a point of content, from a point of timing.
Mrs. Volpe?
Yes.
Mr. Walsh?
Yes.
The motion carried.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Maresca. Moving on to action items 1 through 2 under policy, 1 through 2.
Motion?
Motion?
Second.
All right. Any questions or concern on those particular items? Oh, Mrs. Ramirez, yeah.
So I just want to say, for item number 1, the Colts Township Board of Education Parental Bill of Rights, obviously it's not lost on anyone that I've had some issue with this, and I think I've voiced that at several meetings. We've gone back and forth. So first, I just want to say I'm appreciative of all of the back and forth, all of the work that went on. I know Mr. Scales is not here for me to thank him for doing some of that work as well, but I also know administration had a part in this, as well as our legal counsel in giving us that feedback. I know, Angelique, you were very responsive in getting me some of those legal opinions back. So much appreciation on that end. As a board member, I don't need to reiterate some of the concerns that I had, but I do think a lot of it was vetted out. And this Bill of Rights does mirror very much so much of what was in the parental rights policy that I put forth last year that did pass a first read, but then was tabled in the beginning of this year. So as I said last meeting, in content-wise, I was very much in support of much of what was in there. The last meeting, I did voice some of my concerns with some of the language, nuances that were in there, which are still in there. That being said, part of our role, as I see it as a board member, is to represent the community and the people that voted us in to sit here at this table. And so since last meeting, and honestly throughout much of this, initially I think when this was first posed, we did have some communications to the board, but since then that's really dropped off. So I can only assume, since I have not received phone calls or anything on a personal note, or have we received much communication to the district as a board, that the parents in this town are not opposed to this, being that we didn't get that communication. So with all of that being said, I do plan on moving forward and supporting a first read for this evening, because I don't have any reason in representing the parents to think that they're against that. And so I just wanted to put that on the record, that that's how I feel. And so I'm happy to hear that it is going to be discussed on the Parent Advisory Committee. So perhaps there will be some discussion or some feedback there that before we do a second read will be presented to the board and before it passes. But just, PSA to the parents, I know most of them know this already, but, if there's any concerns with anything that we're passing ever on our agenda, the opportunity is always to reach out to the board and let that be known before we pass resolutions on the board. And that's all. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Mrs. Ramirez, for those comments. We appreciate your support so we could unanimously pass this first read. I just want to remind the public that this has been months in the making, research, meetings, legal evaluations, input from PAC, input from public comment, board members, back and forth. I mean, my head's been spinning with this Bill of Rights for a long time. I'm glad we're in the final stretch of this. I commend Mr. Scales for all the time and the tedious hours and attention this needed. So I'm glad we're passing it. And I want the public to know that this board always supports parental rights here. All of us on this board support parental rights, and this bill clearly states that. So thank you all who were involved. Okay, can we get a roll call at this time?
Yes, on policy items 1 through 2, Mrs. Cameron,
Proudly, yes.
Mrs. Horowitz,
Yes.
Mr. Arico,
Yes.
Mrs. Ramirez,
Yes.
Mr. Rignetta,
Yes.
Mr. Scarpa,
Yes.
Mrs. Volpe,
Yes.
Mr. Walsh.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carried.
Great. Thank you very much. All right, we have nothing under negotiations, transportation, nothing. Okay, moving to personnel.
We're either going to do it at the Cow or at the, yeah, in November, yes.
Yeah, we're going to have a little demonstration, right?
Yeah.
We're going to have a bus come on over so we can take a look at them
I
outside.
can see.
Take a little field trip outside to the front of the building. All right. Okay, I guess not. All right, moving on. I need a motion to move items under personnel. Hold on, let me see here. My eyes are getting tired, guys, I'm so sorry. 1 through 19, thank you very much. Okay, a motion to move those items, please?
Motion.
Thank you.
Second?
All right, this is quite a bit. Anybody have any questions or comments on any of these personnel items? Oh, yes, yep,
Me again.
yep, that's okay.
So for item number 15, which is the resolution for the Colts Township Board of Education to rescind the current superintendent's contract and approve a new 3-year contract. I just want to say that I am very happy to support the renewal of Dr. Garabay's contract. It has been almost 3 years now since I started on this board and working alongside you. As you know, it has not always been easy. Over the last 2.5 years, you have seen so many changes to the 9 members sitting at this table with you, and it has, again, not always been easy to navigate different personalities, but you do so very well. And I know I have posed many challenges to you over this time, and you are always willing to hear me out, even in times when we didn't agree. Your willingness to hear, find solutions to problems, it's been an honor to work alongside you. And I think even having something happen the way that it did yesterday, unfortunately, with our district, your communication to us as a board, and you're navigating all of that and jumping into those challenges and finding a solution for everyone in this district is just wonderful to see. And again, it's a true honor to work alongside you. So I think I speak for the board. Obviously, we worked on this contract with everyone here, that we're grateful for your leadership and your commitment to this district. And I think in a time where so many districts are facing, excuse me, budget cuts, and they're not able to come to a resolution with their superintendent, and the board is just constantly battling with their superintendents, we don't have that here. And that really speaks to your personality and, again, your willingness to work with the board that you have, which changes for you sometimes every 3 years. Sometimes you get us a little longer, but that definitely speaks to your personality, your character, your leadership, your compassion. And I know personally from working with you during this time that it really is all because of your commitment to this district and all of our tiny little humans in this district. And so I just want to say thank you, and it's going to be an honor to support this renewal of your contract. So you're welcome.
Great. Anybody else? Okay, if nothing at this time, we'll get a roll call for those 15 items. I'm sorry, 19 items.
Personnel items 1 through 19.
Yeah, 1 through 19.
Mrs. Camera,
Yes.
Mrs. Horowitz,
Yes.
Mr. Arico,
Yes.
Mrs. Ramirez,
Yes.
Mr. Rignetta.
I'll need to recuse for 1 to 3 due to my employment, but yes to all the rest.
Thank you. Mr. Scarpa,
Yes.
Mrs. Volpe,
Yes.
and Mr. Walsh.
That'll be a big yes.
Thank you. The motion passed.
Okay, terrific. We are going to open the floor again for comments from the public. This will be our second and final. If anybody wants to get up at this time, you can do so. State your name. Yep, state your name and address.
Elisa Spada, 73 Mercer Road. Just a thought about the Chromebooks. What about some kind of a marketing campaign that the students can put a group of students together, put their ideas in and their creative skills, posters in the hallways, something, taking care of our Chromebooks, something like that. Just thinking on that kind of a level.
Yeah, we can certainly, address this with student council. I know we have some lovely student council people on our CDMS.
they could put their
student body.
autistic skills
So,
into
yeah, we
work.
certainly could see if Dr. Rigby to put that in as an
And it's
initiative. with
it's
the-
fun, you know? I think
Yeah,
it would
make
be a
make
fun
it fun
thing.
and, yeah, I agree. Okay. We'll take your comments into consideration, so thank you. Yep. Anybody else at this time want to make a question or comment? Mr. Wickberg back there, how you doing? All right, thanks for coming tonight. If nobody else, we're going to close public comment at this time. All right, we're going to move on to new business. I don't know if anybody has any new business that they want to present tonight. We could do so at this time. Anybody? No? Okay. All right, I guess we're going to get a motion to adjourn.
Motion?
Get a motion?
Second.
Jessica, Jason, all in favor?
Yeah.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
Great, thank you all for coming this evening. Thank you.